All right, Shalom. Let's start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Ruchak, Wadash. Double unto the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to those for the tabernacle of David, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Just wanted to do a response, and just kind of like a response commentary to this video in which you had Deacon Asaph of the IUIC. You know, he got a little emotional, a bit in his feelings. You know, he was streaming live. He had a live class or whatever, and he mentions us, brings us up, and he has a whole little segment where he's just talking real spicy. You know, and they're not addressing us scripturally. You know, all the different points that we bring out against them concerning, you know, what they're teaching. You know, this is what they come up with, you know, to divert. You know, all they could really do is resort to slander, you know, speaking evil against us falsely, in which the Lord said, you're blessed when men shall do that to you. Matter of fact, let me start off with that. Let's go to Matthew 5. So when you can't get back with us and, you know, go point for point scripturally on who's wrong, you know, who has the spirit of truth versus the spirit of error, this is what they got to resort to. All right. But, you know, count it all joy, you know, when these guys, you know, get to doing these things. You know, you had Al-Azhar. He made a fool of himself the last time he spoke against the leadership, you know, trying to, you know, magnify itself, you know, didn't have a real spiritual metric for how he determines, you know, the level of ministry that he was boasting about. But, you know, all these things tend to be on the superficial side, the carnal side. All right. And these guys, they're really about pleasing men. You know, when you really think about it, they're really about pleasing men. All right. The way they'll deflect, the way they'll protect Bishop Nate's image, try to justify what they do, you know, try to justify themselves before men. You know, Yahushai cussed them hypocritical scribes and Pharisees out. You know, you or they which justify yourselves before men. You know, and they which is highly esteemed before men is an abomination in the sight of the Most High. All right. So this is Matthew 5 and 10. This is the words of Yahushai. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." All right, so, you know, we're on the right track, so to speak. You know, when guys can get out of their element for a minute and you know, lose their mind and get all emotional because men are actually rebuking you, you know, and when you're willing to slander men, that's real hate, because it actually proves what the prophets, what it said in the prophets. All right, Prophet Amos, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate. Let me get that. Yeah, Amos 5 and 10, it says, "They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly." So therefore, they will make up, you know, slanders. They will speak against you falsely, make up stuff about you. When we address these dudes, everything is biblical. It's all scriptural. All right, we're dealing with doctrine. It's not, and that's not personal. We're not attacking you. It's not hate. It's commanded from the Heavenly Father in the scriptures, and that's what these guys don't understand. But anyway, let's get to it. This individual had pretty much linked, all the different brothers, I guess as a notification, and he made sure to put it upload it on his page here. I'm not sure who this brother is, but the water for, notifying. But he pretty much recorded, 30 minutes of this segment. All right, this dude Asaph, and this ain't the first time he's done this before. He gets a little worked up and start, talking hella spicy. But I remember a few years back, he was telling his congregation to stop calling us bums and the R word. He was saying that, and he was telling them it was an order for them to stop doing that. We thought that this man had character when he did that, but shows you that these guys are full of shit. All right, they don't practice what they preach. There's a lot of double-mindedness in that group, starting with their leader. But anyway, let's get to it.
Which is why I have to show you got nasty, evil black men in the Christian church doing this to our young black children. And we're trying to save them and try to give them hope and make it that mothers, if they do send their child to serve God, they don't have to send them to the Christian church where they promote this behavior. And at the same time, we're trying to create a safe haven for the children. This is why we stay away from them black Hebrew Israelite nasty Negroes.
And they're going to double down on that, on using that word, as if they're not categorized under that same term by the government. That's how I know this dude. He's just mad. Okay. You can call us what you want, but it doesn't negate the fact that we're gonna stand on business. All right, like as Apostle Paul said, we're set for the defense of the gospel. So we hear some holes in your doctrine, we're gonna point that out. That's just what we do. Okay. And if we wrong, point out our holes. You tried to do that with the MOTB, and y'all fell on your head. All right.
They're despicable. They don't have no videos, nothing to show any work that they're doing for the people. So all they do is sit down.
So we're supposed to openly show the people what? Setting up soup kitchens, marching. The Lord told us, he warned us about staying away from individuals who wants to just be seen before men. Let's go to Matthew 23. He called them hypocrites. Yeah, this is Matthew 23 and 2. I'll start at 1. It says, Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, just like y'all. You want to stand out there on the street, and you want to be the teachers of the law while breaking the law. That's what y'all do. You're known for that. Wear your fringes and all this other stuff, but you're not keeping the law. Crisp line edge-ups, men with long hair. Obviously, you got adultery going on in your congregation. It's like, come on, man. What are we talking about here? You don't wear your phylacteries if you're going to go all the way about the law, because you push it heavy. You disrespect the Lord's name when you're supposed to hallow it. That's in the law. But they love to sit in that lofty position, They love that chief seat. They love the feeling of importance. You know, when you high in the ranks. They love the praise of men. That's what they was all about. It says, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not after their works, for they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders. Like, you know that you holding yourself to the law. You know, you're a debtor to all the law if that's what you're doing. You know, we understand that we're under grace, but we're not gonna do away with the law. It's just what we fall short of. That's where we're covered by the blood. But we still, to the best of our ability, try to walk in the spirit. Okay. We're supposed to love the Lord with all our heart, our might, and soul, and love our neighbor as ourselves. And through those two principles, you're gonna walk with love, fulfilling the law. All right. It says, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. Yeah, it's one big fashion show, and it's all to appear righteous outwardly. You know, the Lord was calling them out, man. You're like witted sepulchres, man. But inwardly, you full of dead men's bones. You full of extortion. You know, this is what they do. You go out there and you try to convert a lot of these young dudes, and they turn into two-folded children of hell than your own selves, and go out there and completely embarrass themselves. You know, literally out there teaching things that they don't even understand. Like, you got IUIC groups that's teaching that fornication is if you have you got more than one wife, that's fornication. Like, really? So when Rachel and Leah was giving Jacob their handmaids to be additional wives so that he can have those children, those extra sons, were they encouraging Jacob to commit fornication? Hell, when Laban gave Jacob Rachel after he already had Leah, was he was he promoting fornication? Was he making his daughters whores? Hypocrites, man. It says, verse 15, it says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land to make one proselyte. And when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. So now you got a bunch of young dudes out there pressing you about your fringes, you know, and you know, are you married? And if not, then you need to go to the state and sign that contract. Stop being a wimp and do the right thing, and you know, go make that contract with E, so that you can have a marriage. And you're gonna have to give us the oversight of your marriage, by the way. Like, totally out of pocket, man. So, you know, I can keep going because this whole chapter, the Lord went in on guys like the IUIC, guys like Sakari too. That whole scribe and Pharisee behavior. Verse 25. I'm gonna start at 24 actually, because this is exactly what Deacon Asaph is doing in that live stream. He's only straining at a gnat and swallowing a camel. All right. This is Matthew 23:24. You blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Okay. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto witted sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. All right, so these are Yahushua's words, all right? And that's hurled back at you, IUIC Deacon Asaph. So let's continue.
And watch our videos and complain about what we doing. I want to show y'all something. Press play.
Oh, and also, if you're going to give alms, don't be as the hypocrites, for they do it to be seen of men. All right? Anything that we do, we don't try to bring attention to it. Okay? We do it in secret that the Most High may reward us openly. You don't know what we're doing over here. All you see us do, everybody across the board, anytime you see Great Millstone, even though we developed this big reputation and nobody likes us, we're only mainly known for going out there and teaching and putting up countless lessons and videos, edifying, building, bringing awareness, all right, giving you updates on prophecy, constant exhortation. That's what we're doing. Yeah, we use some of your videos when we happen to watch you. You know, if we catch you in error, we use it as a way to not only mark you, all right, and have the sheep that are really following us, that are genuine, to avoid you, but we also are correcting what you're teaching, and we're giving them the true understanding, which the scriptures say to rebuke, reprove, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. And we're supposed to do that in season and out of season. All right. We know that y'all don't like this, but it is what it is, man.
Having the mock camp, when you got these young sons, these young men that's standing in formation and looking sharp and all of that. You want to know who your biggest supporters would be primarily?
So is that motivating Jake to want to get serious in the word just by seeing a bunch of men dressed in uniform attire with purple shirts on? Is that you want that to be the reason why men come to join you, because they see that you're standing in a certain formation? You don't think that Jake might be looking at this like men who look at organizations and fraternities and movements as if this is something to just become a part of and join, versus actually being really truly converted? Because you can't be drawn to the Lord except the Lord actually draw you. All right. No, the Lord said, no man can come to my Father but through me, except the Lord draw him. All you got to do is just simply do the work. All right. Just do the work. Go out there on the highways and byways and compel and bid to the marriage. All this other stuff outside of that is just it's just, you know, your activities that you just want to add to, and it's not really edifying. You know, it's just another gimmick. People should be drawn to you through the word that you're preaching. Let me see. Isaiah 66 and 5, it says, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said the Lord, let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed." When we hear this word, we're supposed to tremble at his word. That's what, Jacob's supposed to tremble, and that'll make them want to, follow you because you're giving them the instruction. Okay. Not because you out there make yourself appear to be these, powerful dudes, standing in a formation, like we're not out there to entertain nobody. We're not out there to, recruit anyone. We're not trying to appear commercial. Like we don't give people the impression that this is just something you become a part of, like a fraternity or a Black Panther movement. All right. Ezekiel 3 and 17. "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me." That's what we're doing. He didn't tell Ezekiel to go out and march. All right. And have a certain appearance about himself. He just said to go out there and give warning, man. Warn them about the sword that's coming. Warn them from their wicked ways so that they don't die in their iniquity. And that's what we do. Oh, let me get this in Matthew 28. Matthew 28 and 18, and it says, "And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go you therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whithersoever I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world." Amen. So this is a specific instruction from Yahushua before his departure, basically telling his disciples to go out and teach, where all our people are at, because they're among all the nations. So therefore go and teach all nations and baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And we baptize them with what? By the word. Let's go to Ephesians. Ephesians 5 and 26 says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So we're out there doing the work, man. Okay, and all it takes is for you to go out there and teach the word. Anything outside of that doesn't need to be recorded. It doesn't need to be on display. Because Jake is going to be moved by what they're hearing. Okay, how should a man hear except? Let's get that. Romans 10 and 14, it says, "How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher?" Which a preacher is a prophet. So our people, they're gonna hear this word, and either they're gonna throw it behind their back and despise it, or they're gonna receive it gladly and be sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise if they're of the elect. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. All right. So they're gonna come into this thing by the hearing of the word, and that's how they're gonna get cleaned up. And it says, but they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah said, Lord, who have believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of the Most High. All right, faith don't come by you seeing a bunch of men walking in a formation on the street, 800 to 1,000 deep, with their fringes. When you go into their congregation, there's a bunch of hypocrisy going on, all type of scandals, adultery. Come on, man. So let's get back to it.
Many single mothers, because they were like, this right here will keep my son out of jail, keep her from getting caught up into this foolishness and that foolishness. A lot of women will respond to that. Now, I'm not excluding the brothers, but you have a lot of sometimes you gotta pay attention to the statistics out here. The majority of these households,
a lot of these single moms, they're not widows because their husbands former husbands, fathers of those children, are out there walking around. They're out there. But based on what y'all teach, if he wasn't a believer, she has to leave him, making her a single mother, But back in the ancient world, when a woman was widowed, it's because her husband was deceased. So you had the fatherless and you had the widow, and they were supposed to be taken care of. But these women now, they make these decisions, being in this wicked society we live in, where they choose to be single mothers. So if they gravitate to you, they looking for a father figure, but whose fault is that? It's not like the women in the ancient world who they really legitimately, didn't have the father around because he was more than likely deceased, making her a widow. But what does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with us?
Out here, many of our men are gone in jail and dead, homos and all kind of other stuff. So a lot of these young men don't have fathers. Bishop Yawasam touched it. You saw him. He said a lot of them are homosexuals. And a lot of time it's because there's no males in the house. So the women that care about their children and don't want them
and that's the curse. The curse that devours our nation. The husband having an evil eye towards the wife and the children that he shall leave in the siege. All right, which that's going back to what happened to us in 70 AD, but still that same curse of the evil eye. The wife having her evil eye towards the husband of her bosom and towards her children, and she leaves him. We under the curse.
Be met by predators, drug dealers, gangs, homosexual pastors, or just people in general making a prey of their kids, because in the black community, that's the statistics. Most of us have been coming from single parent households. So they say the women are going to appreciate that they have a place, because we read in the article, the mother said that this troubled her deeply. Her family, her house has been greatly disturbed. So as I'm watching this here and I'm seeing what the woman is saying and her 15-year-old son being taken advantage, then I'm watching the bishop doing a historical thing in the community. What you got? Dirty, black, bum, GMS Israelites. Angry at the progress that's being done in the community. Let it play.
Yeah, that almost sounds like what the Hoover Crip chief priest was saying. You know, that we're jealous and, you know, we hating them for making progress. What are you talking about? Progress in what perspective? Because if you're talking spiritually, you you're not quality at all. You're diminishing. You're waxing worse and worse when it comes to your doctrine. All right. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. You're teaching of a fable of the Catholic Church. You believe in hell now. You didn't used to teach that before. That's not progress. If you're talking about the gimmicks and your congregation growing in numbers, we already talked about that. It's not a popularity contest. The Lord said that broad is the way and straight. It's like wide is the gate, and broad is the way that lead to destruction, and there be many that go in thereat. All right, so it's definitely not about the numbers. If you're going to say that that's how you're progressing, you know, if your garments are starting to look more and more luxurious, you know your fashion, because these people that you recruit into your congregation, little do they know, which I'm pretty sure, well, they do know. When you come into that organization, you better be balling. You better be ready to you know, you better be making some good money, because I got to float around in that congregation. All right, because they're you know, they're all about prestige. You know, when it's time for the Passover, you better save up some money, because you got to pay for that garment. You know, very costly too. You know, we don't make merchandise of the Lord's house. 2 Corinthians 2. And you got a lot of Israelite groups, they specialize in this. This is what they do. 2 Corinthians 2 and 17, it says, "For we're not as many which corrupt the word of the Most High, but as of sincerity, but as of the Most High, and in the sight of the Most High speak we in the Mashiach." And what does that mean, to corrupt the word of the Most High? You watering it down for money, because you're selling it. You're making it more world friendly and commercial, so that more people will be appealed and attracted to it, so that you can raise your revenue. You can gain more members, which equals more money. All right, this is in the NLT. You see, we are not like many hucksters who preach the word for personal profit. And the fact that you have the tax exempt statute, so they're not going to sweat you over all that money that you floating in, because you're under that contract. But there's certain things that you can't speak on, that you can't teach under that contract. So thus you corrupt the word of the Most High. Okay? We preach the word of the Most High with sincerity and with Yahweh's authority, knowing that the Most High is watching us. Come on, man. We under the Most High scope. He's watching everything. So, you know, we're not gonna you know, have all this millions of dollars flowing through our organization, and you up there just floating, you know, at ease. But you got all these hard-working Jake up under you, working hard and giving you all this money, sending letters to prisons. Come on, man.
Are stuck with these sons and trying to raise them in a world that's destined to kill them. So whenever they see men like us that seem to have escaped the trap, they say, you know what, I need my son to follow these kinds of examples here. That's the point he was making. That when they see the order, they see the structure, they see the care for us, they say, this is a safe place for me to send my child to know the Bible, to become a man, so that he don't have to deal with the evil in the land. Read on. Let it play. Let it play.
Push this truth more than many of them. In regards to that point there, they will push these things to their neighbors, cousins, aunts, and all of that. So that's definitely a venue that we need to keep pushing.
Shalom. All
Now listen
praise
to these
Yahweh.
dirty. Look at these. Listen to these bums. This is why we stay away from these wicked, black, evil.
Yeah, when he say bums, he say it with emphasis, man. Like when you listen to them, you swear up and down, that we none of us have a place to live. We don't pay our own bills and rent. We don't have jobs. We don't have vehicles. We don't wear our own clothes. When you listen to them, you think that's that's how we living. Which you can hear the vitriol in his voice, man. He's really upset, speaking real spicy, man. But you could tell that the apostles and brothers, we getting up under them, man. This is where all that hate that Yahushua got, it came from Yahushua constantly rebuking guys. He would rebuke whole cities. He would tell to a whole city it would be more tolerable for Tyre and Zidon or Sodom and Gomorrah than for your whole city. He was going in, and men didn't like that, man. They hate being rebuked. This is a straight hatred, man. The Lord said it. The world cannot hate me. It's like the Lord cannot hate you, but me it hated. John 7 and 7 it says, the world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil. And he's saying that we're evil, but we're catching you in slander. You calling us bums, you're literally saying that brothers don't work, they don't have any jobs, they don't have a roof over their heads. So we're just wandering from place to place, just outside begging. Come on, man. But this is nothing but bitterness. He's real bitter. Because we've been on him. And we ain't just on them. Anybody that goes off. If Captain Zaryak go off, we hear him, we own him. Alazar, the Deacon, we get on them too. And then we also give credit where credit is due as well. They don't never speak about that. When they actually are doing the right thing or teaching something correctly, we don't get it. We say, all right, hey, they right on that. We definitely side with you when you go against the Christians. But you give us things to talk about. So let me go back. Hey, we bear that, say, call us what you want to call us, man. Call us bums, even though you told your congregation years ago to stop doing that. Now you back doing it again. It's all right. Because the Lord said, bless them for that. Was that Matthew 5? So, hey, Deacon Asaph, bless you, brother. Baragata. I already read this already. 5 and 10 through 12. They shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Right? Now let's jump down. When we gonna get to when we gonna get back to the doctrine though? Y'all still teaching the new moon is a full moon. When are you gonna show us that in the scriptures? And how does that always land on a Friday sundown, a Saturday sundown? Doesn't even make sense. Matthew 5 and 43, it says, you have heard that it have been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. So, we're not going to resort to, name calling, but we're going to tell the truth. Okay? So, bless you.
Hebrew Israelite bums. These are the biggest bums of all the Israelite camps. This is the one that the leader is on camera saying.
And you're not supposed to speak about the poor with vitriol like that. It almost sounds like you despise the poor when you call us. I don't think you realize this, Asaph, but you're not supposed to speak in that manner concerning the poor, man. Let's go to the law. See, showing you the hypocrisy, right? They like to sit in Moses' seat, but they don't practice what they preach. Let's go to Deuteronomy 15. If we're really these big bums that don't have nothing, and we're jealous, then why don't y'all do what the law say then? I think the Apostle Tahar made this point not too long ago. Deuteronomy 15. Let me see. Let me just jump back up. Deuteronomy 15 and verse 4, it says, "Say when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For the Lord thy power blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow." That's when we under the blessing. "And thou shalt reign over many nations," which we're clearly not doing, because we're under the curse and we waiting on salvation. It says, "But they shall not reign over thee. If there be among you a poor man of one of the brethren within any of thy gates in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth." So instead of making mockery of bums, right, as they put it, because a bum, he has no place to live, he has no money, he has no job, he has nothing, he's just a beggar. So if that's what we are, instead of actually speaking with contempt, with vitriol, you're supposed to be following this law right here. What are you doing? Your fringes is to help you, remind you to keep the law. So instead of calling us bums, why don't you come and come hook us up? Your leader is worth 150 mil. So we know y'all got it. I'm saying hypothetically, if we bums, this is what you're supposed to do according to the law. All right, you're not supposed to despise the poor, right? Let's go to the Apocrypha real fast. So we don't have to, get all emotional and throw out ad hominems and call you names and all that. We just gonna deal strictly with the scriptures, and this is what happens when you get out of character and you get emotional. Now we can just pick you apart scripturally. Sirach 4. And that's why the scriptures say a fool gives vent to his heart, but a wise man holdeth it afterwards. You just venting out all your mind and your feelings, and you just saying all type of stuff. You mocking it. Come on, man. When has it ever been righteous to mock the poor? Sirach 4 and 5. Actually, verse 4, it says, reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him. So if we were really these bums that y'all make us out to be, we can really curse you. We would be liable to curse you. But, we're not going to do that. The Lord said to bless you. All right. But you off. And the Lord, he's looking at that. Get out your feelings. If a brother's really, really like down and out, and you talking like that, you're adding more trouble to a heart that's vexed. And he can cry out to the Lord, and that prayer pierce the clouds and reach the Heavenly Father, man. So be careful while you're in your feelings. So just to make that point, let's go back a little more. I'm not going to make this too long.
And he wants to have sex with little girls.
And here go more slander. Here go more slander. So this is what you got to resort to because you're in your feelings. This is all a diversion tactic. You're deflecting. We need to go back and address certain things. There's hell doctrine, new moon being the full moon, sex on the Sabbath day. Your ever changing point on what the MOTB is, never consistent. Playing with the name of the Father and the Son. Those are real serious things that you need to beware of. And refusing to take correction is not a good sign, man. You just hardening your necks. So, hey, this is the persecution that Yahushua got. All right. We testifying of the works being evil, and now men want to. This is what they have to resort to. Okay. But we'll endure that. We'll suffer that. But the Most High, he's going to be the one ultimately to judge. And every idle word that men shall speak, they must give an account in that day. So we bear it, man. Okay? The Lord said, woe unto you if men shall speak well of you.
Okay, he says, I want to get them young. So at the same time, you got...
He's referring to when the apostles was out there on 34th and 7th when Polite and Sonetter came up. That whole video went viral and Israel went nuts. They went crazy. But all Apostle Torah was simply saying was, in the ancient world under the law, when we were not Americanized, when we was under a different mindset, there was various ways of marriage. And there was also a way where if a man happened to take a woman that was not married, which is the Deuteronomy 22 controversy, we go into the law where it talks about if a man see a woman, a damsel in the field, and she be not married to or engaged or whatnot, and he lay hold on her and lay with her, and they be found, he got to take her to be his wife. And he got to pay up that dowry, and he may never put her away all her days. And then we married younger, As soon as you reached sexual maturity, which was around puberty, that's when, women were at least engaged. And, she'll be promised, or engaged to be married around 12 or whatever, 12, 13, and Probably won't be ready until 14, 15. And it varies for different women. But we mature different back in the ancient world compared to now. You're still a child even when they say that you're an adult, because mentally, you're still in high school. You're still childlike even when you graduate, because that's how the society is set up to prolong your childhood. Your mental doesn't catch up with your physical. But in the ancient world, you were on a level by the time you reach puberty. All right, that was the age of accountability. This is why you was able to start going up into the temple around that age. That was the age when Yahushua would start to go into the temple. So Apostle Tahar was just making a point, and all these dudes, they got emotional and they ran with it. Like as if, we're attracted to minors and, we teach Sarai to go out there and do the, come on, man. None of us are locked up. None of us have been charged. There's no accusers. But this is what we saying, man. This bearing false witness and slandering. This is what you got to do when you know that you on the ropes. He's pissed. And he's breaking the law while he's in his feelings, showing you the hypocrisy. He's doing this while he got his fringes on. So I'm gonna stop the video right there because I'm almost an hour in. This is 50-something minutes in already. This is a 30-minute video. I'll be here all day. All right, but y'all see this, man, and you could be the judge. These dudes are off, and they hate that we're pointing out their wicked behavior, man, and them misleading the flock according to the doctrine. They don't like that we're able to see hey, man, we're spiritual juggernauts, man, and we see everything. So there's a bad look, man. And Deacon Asaph, hey, bless you, bro. All right, that's all I would say, man. I'm not gonna curse you. I'm gonna just say, hey, Barakatah, man. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and until the next one, Shalom.